All right, this is a dewalt MIG welded 14-ounce hammer, and this is a tie bone 2 15-ounce hammer. So both of these are about the same weight, and then this one is about an inch longer. So I've done heavy civil form work for probably about 7 years, and I've been through two of these hammers. And what I usually run into is I will have cracking in the claw, and usually it'll crack right about here, and then split in towards the claw. So, the price point on these, if you were gonna buy these new, these are about $80 a piece. And then these are about 250 to 300. I got mine for $100 because one of my buddies, for some stupid reason, had three of them, so he sold me it for $100. And I've had this one for probably about 2 years, and so far I really like it, especially for concrete work, because concrete work is incredibly hard on tools and, quite frankly, on people as well. So with this hammer, when you hit hard things, especially, it shocks back, right? I can't really demonstrate that. Like I have a concrete floor here, and then it has like a ring to it. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. So I did that for nothing, basically. Anyway, this one will vibrate a lot more, and you'll feel it in your upper tendons in your arm and in your elbow over time. And then with this thing, when you put long swings into it, you can feel stretching right in the back of your elbow, which will give you carpenter's elbow or tennis elbow over time. So, I mean, this is a great starter hammer, and then you can go cheaper. You can go like Estwing or something like that, where, it'll be like a $40 hammer as opposed to an $80 hammer. But my biggest thing is I wish I waited and I got one of these, because it is much easier on the joints, especially for concrete work, because you're hitting very hard things. Like you're hitting steel stakes, or you're pounding duplex nails into concrete, and it is a much harder on your wrist to use something like this as opposed to this. And then you don't have a weight penalty with it, because these weigh the same amount, even though this is a 14 and this is a 15-ounce hammer. Like, people that know hammers will know that number is giving you the head weight. It isn't actually giving you the handle weight. So even though this is a 15-ounce hammer, they weigh the same, so it doesn't really weigh down your pouch much. So I think the coolest feature of this is the side puller right here, because this is so disproportionately powerful. So if you're ever in a congested area, or you don't have access to a crowbar or something like that, this will work. So just to give two examples, when people hilty in a duplex nail and put wire in this side puller will pull it out with not a lot of effort to it. It is very disproportionately powerful. So you can do the same trick with the claws of your hammer, but that's how I broke the claws, is prying sideways on it. That's what breaks these claws. So it works for pulling out nails that are embedded in concrete. Another good example is one of the common practices, especially if you're in a very winded area, is you have a lift of plywood and you'll put a nail into it, so the sheets don't blow off in the wind. Because I've seen that. I've worked on a 4-story apartment building, and a sheet actually flew down right into the adjacent road that we were working on, and that is not good. Good thing it didn't hit anybody or hit any vehicles, because that would have been messy. So plywood, it really holds the nail well. So if you oversink the nail, or you have somebody that isn't as experienced and they hammer down that nail, it is miserable to get out. It'll pull the head right off the nail, and then it's just miserable to deal with. So with this thing, you latch around it and you pry, and then it gets it in one strike, and it never pulls the nail off because it pulls more on the shaft rather than the head. So this thing is a great hammer, and I would recommend anybody that does rough work like that would get one of these and save up and invest, and then look on any like buy and sell sites. Just a couple things to worry about. These things get stolen all the time. So what I did, I nicknamed mine the Blue Devil because I painted the inside, and then I have this. This is kind of like a bash guard. So if I'm hitting on a nail bar or anything like that, it's a lot easier to hit a nail bar with the shaft of your hammer rather than the head. I just find, so that's what I do, just a little bash guard like that. If on the tie bone 2s, this is the older generation, the heads will back out. So when your head backs out, your nail start won't work. This head will shift and misalign, so it'll be down here, so you can't use your nail holder or your nail set. So I pulled this bolt out and put blue Loctite on it, and I've never had any issues. And hammering on concrete and miserable stuff like that, it never backed out. And then just one last thing that I thought that could be done better on these hammers is the grips. I forget the process name. I think it's like vulcanized or something like that. But the shaft kind of separated on the inside, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it kind of wobbles a little bit. But just overall, it's a great hammer, and it might just be the price point talking, but I feel a lot more efficient, a lot more proficient, and it just all in all, I feel like I'm a lot better set up when I have something like this rather than this. But then again, that might just be the price point talking. But anyway, just like a versus and comparison video of something like this and something like this.